Hi there. So you purchased an Antminer from me. I hope you did. Well, hopefully I can help you to set up everything and get you going. So I'll be covering a couple of different topics. We're going to start off with the hardware. We're going to talk about the crypto wallet, how to set up everything, and how to start mining and how to get money. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's talk about the hardware. So I've got obviously the miner. This is miner number 8. It is a Antminer D3, and I've got a power supply. It's important to note that this power supply is a 110 volt power supply. We're gonna see, there you go, 110 to 140. It's got the power connectors. I've got the Antminer and I've got the power cable. Important, I've got a nice thick power cable. You should not use the thin power cables. I know the power supplies often come with the thin cables. Let me get one for you. You see the difference? You should not use the thin cable long term because it will heat up. So don't do that. That's why I normally don't supply power supplies with power cables, because they come with a thin cable, which is not good. The next thing we've got a network cable, and you will see it looks like that. And if you look at the miner, it got like, ooh, that goes in there. Cool, because the miner does not have a Wi-Fi connection, it uses an Ethernet connection. Okay. So let's now start with the power supply. It's going to be difficult to do this all one hand, but okay, let's go for this. So I've got on the power supply, I got 10 of these 12 volt power clips, and I can plug them in any sequence, whatever's convenient. If the power cables doesn't reach properly, then move them around so that they do reach properly. Cool, I'll be plugging them in. You will also see the data cables from the miner is already plugged in. Should come with that. Those you can buy replacements for if yours get damaged or anything. Let's plug in. Sorry, this is going to be tedious because I'm doing it one hand. And there we go. Some people have asked me, can you use like server power supplies, computer power supplies? And yes, you can, but I don't recommend it, because you might have to mix and match power supplies because they might not have enough power plugs and stuff like that. It just creates problems for yourself. These Bitmain power supplies, they're quite efficient. They cost around 150 bucks. You can get them easily on eBay. I regularly sell them whenever I've got. Sometimes I get miners with them, and then I can sell them with them. Other times I just get the miners and not the power supply. Cool, so everything is plugged in. There you go. See, it's all plugged in. That side as well. Don't forget to get the power plug on the control board. Then we've got the network cable that we plugged in on the side, and here's the power supply. So for the Antminer, the airflow is usually from the side that the network cable comes in. There's in there and out on this side. I have found in the past sometimes people, they turn the fans around and both blow in. That doesn't work. You just heat up the miner, because now where does the air come out? The only way it can come out is over here. That's a bad idea. So let's turn this around. Okay. And now you have the network connection. You need to plug in. If it focuses on that, come on, focus. Yay! No, it doesn't want to focus. Oh, there you go. And I've got the power supply. So before I plug in the power supply, I'm going to plug in a network. Now you need to have somewhere where you can plug this in. For me, I've got my network connection right here at the back that I can plug it in. But you might have a different network connection. The important is you need something to assign a number to the Antminer IP address. Now, if you just have, this is called a switch, a network switch. If you just have that, that does not assign a network number. Mine is a 24 port that I use to connect all the different computers of my network. What you would need is something that will assign the IP address. Hold on one sec and I'll show you. So over here I've got my Xfinity router. It's got the network ports at the back and it does assign IP address. It's called a DHCP server. It would not be part of this video to try and explain to you how this is done. That you need to be able to set up. I'm sure there's lots of YouTube videos around that. You can also use something like a Wi-Fi router, something like that, to assign the IP address to the miner with a DHCP. Okay, I'm back at the miner. All the miners that I configure, they are automatically configured to run on DHCP. In other words, where a modem or router assigns the IP address to the miner. Sometimes, well, frequently when I buy miners, people set up their own IP addresses and then you can't find the router or you can't find the miner. You don't know what the address is, you don't know where it is. If you run into that problem, you can reset it, but then you have to set up a bunch of settings and stuff like that. But when you buy it from me, obviously it will be on DHCP. Okay, there's also IP reporting, which I don't know what it does. It's supposed to report IP, but I'll show you, you don't really need that. Cool, so we're ready. I've got my network connection in, I've got space for airflow, and we're gonna plug in the power cable. Let's turn that, make some space. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. Okay, let's try that again. I'm gonna take the power and plug it in. With these power supplies, they don't have an on-off switch. I've got some 240 volt power supplies, really nice power supplies that only work on 240 volt, and they've got a switch. These do not, so whenever you plug it in, it's gonna switch on. So I'm gonna plug it in. Okay, it will see the fan. Look at that, the fan is turning. That's important. And we'll see on their miner, the fan is also turning. Because the miner is already set up, you'll see immediately the network lights, two of them gone. This is while the miner is booting. You won't be able to find it on the network or anything. You'll see there are the lights that show it is running. And it's a good thing to check at the back. Is the fan? Yeah, the fan is spinning. Now as it's booting, nothing much will go on. It takes, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute for it to boot up. The fan will spin slow, like it does now, until it boots, and then it will start spinning faster and you'll hear it. So let's just wait a couple of seconds, and I guess you can check on the video how long this takes. So it's important, like I said, to have your network connection with a DHCP server. You can assign static IP address to the miner. It's a bit more complicated. For beginners, you don't need to do that. Like I said, I set it up that it automatically will sign onto your network, provided that you've got a DHCP server. And there you go. Now the fan starts spinning faster, which means the miner is starting to almost mine, not quite yet. So this is a hardware setup. We'll talk a bit about the software setup and how to find the miner on the network. There it starts mining. Ta-da! There you go. It's mining.